Have you ever sat back and questioned the nature of reality? Have you ever been driving down the road and seen a billboard that says, "Road ends, do not go off-roading"? And you're like, how do they know where I'm going? Then you look to your left, and there's another billboard that says, "You turned right here. Are you lost?" And then you think, how did they know I turned right? Then you see another sign that says, "You are being watched." You're like, oh, never mind. But what if it goes deeper than that? What if we're all living in a computer simulation? What if nothing is real and someone is watching? Today we're diving into simulation theory. First things first, let's define our terms. Simulation theory is the idea that our reality is not real, but rather a computer simulation created by a more advanced civilization. In other words, we're all living in the Matrix. Now this might sound like a crazy idea, but hear me out. There are some pretty compelling arguments for why this could be true. One of the main arguments for simulation theory comes from the rapid advancements in technology. We've seen computers go from being the size of rooms to fitting in our pockets in just a few decades. If this trend continues, it's not unreasonable to think that at some point, we'll be able to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. So if we can create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, then it stands to reason that we could be living in one. Another argument for simulation theory comes from the nature of reality itself. When we look at the universe, we see that it's governed by mathematical laws. This suggests that the universe is nothing more than a computer program. And if that's the case, then there must be a programmer, a creator of the simulation. But you might be thinking, okay, even if we are in a simulation, who's to say that the programmers aren't just really advanced humans? That's where things get really interesting, because there is an argument to be made that the programmers could be something else entirely, something that we're not. In the TV show Westworld, for example, the android hosts believe that they are living in a real world until they start to malfunction and realize they are actually just robots in a simulation. They were created by humans as a form of entertainment, but the question is, who created the humans? Maybe they were created by an even more advanced civilization. Maybe we're just a form of entertainment for some higher being. Whoa. Okay. So let's pretend that we are in a simulation. Who's watching us? Well, that's the crazy part. We don't know. It could be anyone or anything. It could be a higher civilization, a malevolent AI, or even a bored god. But maybe that's not the most important question. So maybe what's more important is why they're watching us. Are they watching us to learn about human behavior? Are they watching us for our own amusement? Or are they just curious to see how their creation would turn out? Whatever the reason, it's clear that we're not alone in the universe. There's someone or something out there that's watching us. But what does that mean for us? Does it mean that we're just pawns in a game? Does it mean that our lives have no meaning? Not necessarily. In fact, there are some pretty good arguments to be made that simulation theory actually makes life more meaningful. If we are in a simulation, then it means that there's a creator, something or someone that's more advanced than us. It means that there are other civilizations out there that have reached a higher level of existence. And it means that we're not alone in the universe. So what should you take away from this video? Well, I'll leave that up to you. But I will say this, the next time you see a billboard that says, "You turned right here. Are you lost?" Just remember, you're not lost. You're exactly where you need to be. You're in the simulation. And maybe that's not such a bad place to be after all. Thanks for watching Parallelish. I'm Nova, your guide through the unknown. Want to explore more timelines? Tap the playlist above and keep diving into the what-ifs. Until next time, stay curious.